Hello, and welcome to another magical conversation. Yeah! I just wanted to say that I was super scared to start this podcast. And when I made the first episode, I felt so light. I felt excited for the future. I felt like weight was being lifted off out of me, which is really funny because I was really scared to start this journey of this podcast. And I was really scared to put myself out there in that way. But I'm really glad I did it. I'm super excited to share all my stories because I have so many of them. It's insane. In this episode, I would like to share a bit of where I am mentally and emotional right now in my life. So basically, for quite some time now, I have been struggling with job insecurity. I think this is quite a common experience for many of us right now. It is really hard to get a job at the moment. And I know I'm not the only one. Like, I see the LinkedIn posts, I see the TikToks, I see the reels. I think this is a very common experience. Personally, I'm blaming it on Saturn being retrograde. But for the past months, I've been struggling to get a job. And this is something that I never struggle with, to be quite honest. I always found very easy to get a job, have employment. And this was something that I thought I'll never face. And this brought up a lot of feelings of fear because at the end of the day, like, I am a one woman show. I don't have a lot of support. I don't have much to fall back into. I do have still quote unquote a family, but that's not a place that I want to go back into. And I'm willing to do a hell of a lot to not put myself in that situation again. But I've been really struggling in with my fear with getting a job. And this brought up a lot of feelings of fear. Right now, I think I'm better with feeling my fear. As of lately, I have not felt that much pressure and that feeling of overwhelming fear. And I want to share like my journey of that. So basically, I was really scared and I still am, but at this point, I think I come more with terms with my fear. And what I did is I sat with my fear, as I always do. When I have a strong emotion, what I do is I sit with it, I feel it, and I express it. And I was feeling my fear, and it was really overwhelming. But I was taking my time at the end of the day to check in with myself, to cry, to feel anxiety, to feel all of these emotions. And I was expressing my fear. I even did the technique of draw your monster. So I draw my fear and I was expressing and loving my emotions throughout it. And I reached this conclusion that a lot of my fear was connected to external validation, especially relating to a father wound. Basically, this also relates to the sense of feeling unworthy, in the sense that, imagine, I never felt worthy enough for my father. I never felt like I was good enough. I didn't get his approval, his emotional validation. And this thing was that it was very important to him for me to succeed in life. It was very important to him for me at the time to have good grades, to excel at school. And I think it's kind of that psychology of narcissism where parents see their child as a reflection of themselves. So if I did well at school, if I was considered smart, he somehow was considered smart as well. Also, that thing that I talked about in last episode, that for him, he blamed a lot of his current situation on the fact that he never succeeded in going to university, that he never had an higher education. And again, it's also a bit of a narcissistic mindset in the sense that they always blame their current life in something outside of them. Their life right now, their decisions they are making, the life that they are living, it's always because someone else forbid them or because someone else didn't allow them to do something. It was never them, right? They don't take the responsibility of their own life. They don't take charge over their own life. And I remember even when I was younger looking at my father and thinking, that's kind of BS. Like, if you really wanted to do something, if that really was a dream of yours, you are you will do a hell of a lot to be able to achieve it. If that's something that you really, really wanted, even if there were obstacles, even if there were rejections, you will be able to do it. But either way, I always felt unworthy and unlovable because I was never successful enough in my eyes to my father. I was never smart enough, independent of how well I did in life, independent of the degree of my grades, independent of all of that. I never felt good enough. And at this point, my father is no longer alive. So I reached this state that I was feeling my fear. And that was coming up a lot to me in my fear, this sense that I need to prove to people that I'm good enough. I need to show people that I'm worthy. And there were a lot of feelings of fear coming through that. I also, for a long time, I had this mentality of I need to show people that they were wrong. I need to show people that what they thought of me was wrong. I need to prove them wrong. I'm going to be successful so I can finally show them how smart and achieved and accomplished I am. So, in feeling my fear of not getting a job, I was coming up with a lot of emotions of needing external validation, needing to show people, look at me, look how successful I am, look how much I have achieved. And I realized through the fact that my father is no longer alive that I am never going to get that validation. Even if he was alive today, I was never going to get that validation. Because at the end of the day, I'm worthy as I am. I was born worthy. Didn't need to prove anything to anyone. People see the world how they see themselves. So if they think of themselves as unsuccessful, if they think of themselves as unworthy, they are going to see people as unsuccessful. They are going to see people as unworthy. It has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. And even if I was the most successful, achieved, bow person to has ever existed, those people will never give me that validation because I already am worthy. I already am achieved. I already am smart and all of that. And that was a realization that in that point, I realized that I needed to let go of external approval. I need to let go of this idea that someday people are going to see me as as successful, worthy, because they never will. If people don't accept me now, if people don't love me unconditionally now, they never will. And it's kind of pointless for me to waste so much time and so much energy into trying to please them, because that's what I realized with my father, in the sense that I spent so much time pursuing, for example, a career or field that I thought it was going to make him proud. I spent so much time living a life that was not authentic to me to try to make him proud. And even after his passing, I still did that because I was still somehow looking for that validation. If I was not looking directly for his validation, I was looking for that validation in other people. And I just realized, what am I doing? Why am I trying to look for validation for people that never accepted me, from people that never loved me to begin with? And that was really a powerful realization that set me free in a lot of ways. When I add that, I swore to myself, never again. Never again will I look for other people to approve me. Never again will I look for the approval and opinion of other people. If they don't love me now, if they don't accept me now, that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. And it's pointless to chase people, because that's another thing of this wound that I felt like when somebody like didn't fully accept me or fully love me, I'll chase after them. Super embarrassed about this because right now I'm not the person that does that anymore. But I'll chase after people that didn't love me, didn't accept me. And even in my dynamics of love, and again, for me, love is not just romantic relationship, it's also friendships, connection with people. I'll chase people that did not accept me, like I was trying to prove something to them. And I'll just keep in these cycles of people that did not see my worth, people that did not accept me, people that didn't love me, and I'll just keep chasing after them. And even if, for example, if somebody came and accept me unconditionally and if loved me unconditionally, that there were those people that were there like doing the opposite, chasing me instead of me chasing them. And that felt uncomfortable. People that truly love me and truly accept me, I was running away from them because I don't know, in my body, it felt incredibly uncomfortable. I couldn't understand at the time what it was, but I felt like, no, 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 because I think it's a foreign way of love. And when I say foreign, it's not only about something that I did not experience in the outside. It was something I did not experience for myself. I did not add that unconditional love for myself. I did not add that conditional acceptance for myself. I did not see myself as worthy or lovable. So when people gave it to me, it was a trigger that I'll run away from. And I think what really did it for me was going within and giving myself that love and that approval without being quote unquote perfect. I needed to give myself the reassurance that I was worthy, valuable, lovable, exactly as I am, exactly how I feel, without trying to chase anything on the outside world, in the sense that I needed to love myself exactly as I am now, and exactly for what I do now, even the things that I don't like about myself, I needed to give myself that love. And that was really fulfilling, actually. Like when I start giving myself that love, just accepting myself for who I am, even the things that I don't like about myself, just loving and accepting myself exactly as I am without trying to change myself into being better at this or better at that, and realize that I'm already enough. I am more than enough. That gave me a lot of self fulfillment. And he also gave me a lot of freedom because when I realized that, I was like, the only person I need to live my life for is myself. There is no one to please. There is no one to chase. The only thing I need to chase is my inner happiness and inner fulfillment. I don't need to chase the outside. I don't need to look for external approval because I can give that to myself. And that gave me a lot of freedom in the sense that I changed the way that I looked at work. I changed the way that I look at myself, of course. I changed the way that I look at relationships. And I started approaching life with this mindset that if it's not for me, that's okay. If you don't like me, if you don't accept me, if you don't love me, that's okay. No hard feelings to anyone. It is okay for you to feel that way about me. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I only have a limited amount of time and energy. I am not for everyone. I'm not here to please everyone. I'm not here to be for everyone, but I'm here to be for myself. I'm here to comfort myself and give myself that validation. So when I start doing that, like that feeling of fear, it really became unintense. I was struggling with a lot of fear of like job insecurities. And don't get me wrong, I still don't have a job. Of course, like I'm doing the best that I can, the best way that I know, and I'm taking action. I'm like sending applications, all of that. I'm improving my skills. I'm doing all the quote unquote physical things. But that feeling of fear, I have not felt it in a while. Like I like again to do a checkup with myself at night, being like, "Hey, how are you feeling, Laurinda?" And lately, I've been saying that I'm grateful that I don't fear the job insecurity, even though that I still don't have anything in sight. Actually, I went to an interview today, but again, I'm not trying to force anything because I believe deep down that everything is happening for me. And also, I think because I struggle so much in life, because I had so many obstacles and I walked with so much fear, and I went in a lot of this journey blind. I went in this journey without the safety net. I just walked in the unknown, and it always works out somehow. I don't understand how it works out, but it does. I feel like my life is like everything is going wrong, but somehow everything going wrong puts me in a better place than I was before, which is really funny because like if you look at my life, you think like things are going wrong for her, like she's not getting what she wants in that moment. But then like in a wider perspective, in a long-term perspective, you're like, wait, but she's doing better than she was before. And at this point in life, I am just letting go of control a bit more by facing my emotions, sitting with my emotions, expressing my emotions, and loving my emotions. I think when I learned that technique and that tactic of dealing with emotions, life changing, when I realized that it was not about denying and refusing the emotions, but it was about accepting them, everything changed. Life became so much easier. Life became so much more peaceful. And this is not because I don't have obstacles, because of course I do. This is not because I don't have rejections, of course I do. But now I take obstacles and rejections as I might not understand it now in this moment, but I know when I look back later in life, I'll see that everything was working out for me. And I really believe that because I went through a lot in my life with no security, blinded, walking in the unexpected. Many things did not go my way, many. And I'm so grateful for that because if I got what I wanted, I'll not be living the life of my dreams. I'll not be living the life that I truly desired. And I'll not be living the life that makes me the happiest. So I'm kind of trusting right now that everything is working out in my favor, even if I don't understand it right now. I'm trusting that also if I really am desperate and I really need a job, it will come to me because he always did. A lot of times in my life, I was desperate. A lot of times in my life, I did not know what was going to happen next, but it always turned out even better than I could imagine because I think there is this lesson about you giving up. I think giving up is almost giving in. I really believe in the duality in life, in like opposites. Like for every action, there is an opposite reaction. So if you want to something, you kind of need to do the opposite in the sense of, for example, you want a stable life, let's say, you want a certain amount of income, you want a certain amount of money. I found that the answer doesn't rely as much in pursuing it. Of course, there is always a level of pursuing, there is always a level of taking action in the outside world. But I found that the best results was when I went within. So, for example, if I want abundance, if I want a life that is stable, if I want a job, money, whatever it is, what I need to do is I need to face my lack mentality. I need to go within and think, why do I live in lack? When was the first time that I experienced lack? And this is really interesting because I found that, for example, physical lack, lack in resources, lack in money, whatever it is, it starts with emotional lack in the sense that my lack mentality in regards to resources, physicality, started with me denying my emotions. Of course, it was a projection of others and then I thought myself, but within me, it started with me denying my emotions and not giving myself the love, the support, and the safety. Because everything is a state of mind, right? Our thoughts create our reality. So everything starts within us. And when I address the opposite of what I want, in the sense, if I want something, I need to address it inside of me of not having it. And I express my emotions, I feel them, I love myself and support myself through those emotions. The world follows. It's this is a way that you don't have that much control on the outside world in the sense you cater to yourself. Of course, again, you take action in the outside world. Of course, it's always a balance between emotions and physicality, right? So you continue taking action in the outside world for your desired outcome, and you address your emotions about it. And I realized that by doing that, I don't have as much control on the outside world in the sense that what I'm doing physically only like 10% pays off. And even if that doesn't pays off, like something unexpected happens for my desires. Something happens for me to live the life that I want. Even if at the time it doesn't seem like a good thing, it it is a good thing. And I realized later in life that it was a good thing. This is a technique where you have to walk with fear because fear is the unexpected, fear is the unknown, fear is simply something that we cannot logically control. And when I start walking with fear instead of living from fear, because living from fear is micromanaging, is trying to control everything on the outside world, trying to control every minute detail. And that gives you a higher sense of control. And that also gives you a higher sense of safety. However, I felt like my best results and I felt like the most exponential growth when I let go of control, when I let go of how things are happening on the outside world, and when I trust that everything is happening for me. And I really believe this, that everything is happening for me because of life experience. I think this is something that we gain from going through life, going through the ups, but especially going through the downs, and realize that, hey, he's actually better than he was before. Like all those rock bottoms, all those down moments, all that chaos, all that emotional pain that I had to experience led me to a life that I never thought it was possible. So addressing my emotions and letting go of control on the outside world, it almost creates like magic, magical conversations. It is really this going with the flow with life, trusting life to bring you what you desire, and letting go of control of the specific outcome in that moment, knowing that all paths lead to Rome, even if we don't know that the path that we are taking it's Rome. Imagine we have a direct path to Rome and we are not taking that path, but somehow it leads to Rome. And I think that life experience gave me a lot of trust in the unknown, gave me a lot of safety in unsafety, gave me a lot of comfort in not knowing. I'm very grateful for that because at the end of the day, I created things out of thin air. Things happened for me, and they happened because I went through rock bottom after rock bottom, through a lot of downs, and I experienced a lot of obstacles and a lot of rejections. But it's to understand that rejections are blessings. And this is a method that, yes, I feel a lot of fear in, but it's about feeling the fear, being okay with feeling the fear, also understanding the lessons that the fear is trying to teach us. Because again, this specific fear that I had about finding a job was all about external approval, was all about me trying to prove to people, look at me, I'm great. And it's all about realizing that I have nothing to prove. I'm already great, even in my imperfections, even if I'm completely flawed, completely imperfect, even if I'm not like the smartest, most accomplished person in a room. I am for myself. I don't need to be like everyone else. I don't need to live the life that everyone is living. All I need is to find a life that is the most authentic and fulfilling to me. So right now, this is where I am in life. Like, I know things are going to work out. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm trusting. And lately, I have not felt that sense of fear and dread, like, what I'm going to do. Of course, it's still like in my logical mind. Of course, like I'm doing the physical stuff, like I'm taking the physical steps. I have my routine because I've been unemployed, but I never stopped working, basically, because I truly love to be productive in a healthy way. I always like to do something, I'm going to be honest. Like I'm a bit of a restless person. Like I need to work, I need to do something, I need to change, I need to grow, I need to evolve. And that's something that I think it's me at my core. I try to rest. I put an effort to rest because I understand now rest is important. And actually, I think the more you rest, the more you receive. It's like a one-way channel. The more you give, the less you receive. And the less you give, the more you receive. So I do try to put boundaries with myself in resting more, doing less, just existing more, even though it's hard for me. I'm going to be honest. I like to keep moving. I like to do. I try to have my rest days. But yeah, even though that I don't know when is going to be my next income, I don't know how my finances are going to look, and I'm trusting that everything is working out for me. And I feel it in my body, I feel it in my intuition, especially after a lot of rejection, a lot of obstacles. I really believe, okay, something, there is something for me. I just don't see it yet. I just don't understand it yet. But I know when I look back in some years, I'm going to be so grateful that everything happened the way it happened. Because also, like, being unemployed actually made me pursue Laurinda Landia and this podcast. He actually made me pursue my dreams, right? Not only that, but also the healing of not needing external validation. When I started to heal this need for external validation, I thought to myself, what does my most fulfilling life looks like? What do I really want to do outside of what other people expect from me? I do this as exercise that I really love, that is, imagine in a world where you have everything, and everything means where you have all the resources, you have all the money, you have all the love, you have all the external approval. Everyone loves you. Everyone thinks you are great. Everything is on 10/10. Like, there is no one to impress because everyone adores you, loves you, think you are the greatest. There is no need to make money because you already have infinite amounts of money. In a world where you have everything, what would you do? How would your day look like? What will be your routine, the activities that you do? And it's kind of understanding what really brings you happiness. Because I think sometimes, in a lot of ways, what we think will bring us happiness is more ego led than truly authenticity, in the sense that we might think, hey, maybe if I got like this incredible job where I am, I don't know, the CEO, I am like the boss, I got all this external approval, people think I'm in power, people think I'm great, then I'll be happy. And if you really did have that job, if you really did have that position, and you had everything that you desired, the job, the position, the income, all of those status led things, and you do get some validation from people, but most of the people envy you. Because that's the thing. I think that's kind of the trick of the ego. And I learned this by reading The Psychology of Money, the book. Love that book. That even if you got all those achievements, if you are not inherently passionate about it, if it's not really like your passion and you get so much joy just by doing it, you will not get the emotion that you are looking for. Even if people validated you, if you don't validate yourself, that means nothing. And I think, like, for a long time, I was pursuing this status, this amount of income to again have that external approval, have that status, have people finally validating me. And then when I realized that there was pointless, and that I could start giving that validation to myself, I don't need people to give that to me, I started slowly readjusting my life to a life where every little thing that I do, I enjoy. I don't do it for a specific outcome. I don't do it to get other people's approval. I do it because I enjoy it. And for me, that's what podcasting and Laurinda Landia is doing something that is authentic to me and that I love. because speaking, I love to speak about this stuff. I love to speak about emotions. I love to get real deep and really philosophical. And that's something that I genuinely love. Even if nobody watched, I'll still do it. But I'm very grateful for everyone that does. Love you all. Uh, but even if I had no sort of external approval, I still do it because it is me. It is what I'm passionate about. It is what I like to do. So, in a lot of ways, I think being unemployed, I don't understand it now, but I think I will in the future. Blessing in disguise. This job insecurity right now, I might not understand it now, but I think in the future, I'm going to look back and be so grateful for it. And so grateful that I am already grateful for that, that I stopped chasing things for external approval and just start doing it because I enjoy the process itself. I enjoy every little thing about it. Not every little thing. There are some things that, of course, life is a balance, but most of it I enjoy and I do it for myself and no one else. That has been really fulfilling. So, yeah, this is where I'm now with job insecurity. I know a lot of people are going through it. Let me know, like, if you're watching on YouTube, down in the comments, like, how you've been feeling about that, if you're struggling with the same thing, because I know this is a very common, even worldwide experience right now. Another thing that I wanted to share was my birthday is at the end of the month, is on the 30th of September. And imagine growing up again, narcissistic parents. What they will do for my birthday is they will kind of future fake. What is I mean by this, they will like put my expectations on I. Like, you're gonna have a great birthday. You're gonna have this and that. We're gonna do this and that. I always got like excited. Like, maybe I'll have a day where like my life will be kind of peaceful. Maybe I'll have a day where I feel a bit loved and worthy. And what they will do when the day come was actually like bring their behavior, make their behavior even worse. And I think, again, that's a very narcissistic thing to do. It's a very common uh, behavior for them. There is a future faking the disappointments and the bringing down. And I think because I had so many years of that, so many years of thinking, hey, I'm gonna have a good birthday. And then you reach the day and they made sure to make me feel even worse than they would usually make me feel, to make me feel even more of a burden, to make me feel even more worthless. And this is not even about physical things. For example, my parents never gave me gifts. And honestly, I'm fine with that. I was not looking for physicality. I was looking for emotional validation. I was looking for love. I was looking for kind words. I was looking for support. And I'm actually grateful that they did not give me gifts in a lot of ways, because I think it really taught me to value other things. Again, physicality is great. A girly likes pretty things, all of that. But I think that really taught me to not. I care, but I don't care that much. I like it, but it's not a need, right? So I'm kind of grateful that they taught me in that way. It was not a teaching, it was like a narcissistic thing, but I took it as a lesson. It taught me to not. I do care about things, but I don't need like expensive things. I don't need fancy things. Like, most of my clothes where I live is like, you can get clothes for free. And I love like free stuff and like making something that people might not like it, but like making it to me. I love to repurpose stuff. And I'm not a very material person. I am way more of an emotional person. Like, if you can be there for me emotionally, that's everything. If you can accept me and love me unconditionally, you are giving me the world. I don't care about things. Like, if you are there for me emotionally and accept me and love me, like, I really don't need all the physical material stuff. And even when people give it now, am I grateful? Yes. But I give way more value to like emotional presence, emotional validation, emotional support. But I think I had many years of that expectations high, and then you reach the day and they'll like break it down. And I think I had a lot of birthdays where I felt so unworthy, where I felt such a burden, where I felt, yeah, all those emotions that come with evaluation and all those emotions that come from dealing with narcissists. And I think what hurts the most was the hope. The hope is really hurtful. Like until this day, for example, I take very seriously what I say. I'm not going to say something that I don't mean, and I'm not going to promise something that I won't do. And I'm very serious about it. Because if something that I ate until this day is unfulfilled promises, don't promise me nothing, do things. Don't say you're going to be there for me, be there for me. Don't say you're going to support me, support me. And until this day, I hate false hope. And I don't usually get hopeful about other people. I get hopeful about myself, the future, and stuff like that. But I don't get hopeful about other people because it was many years of putting my hopes up to bringing them down. So through many years of that, basically my birthday comes with a lot of feelings of unworthiness, of feeling a burden, of feeling unloved. I always feel these feelings around my birthday. And even though I have had good birthdays for the past years, I have people that were there for me. I have people that made an effort to like be there for me. They created all these amazing parties. I have many people that were so kind and show me so much love in my birthday. But because I have not yet healed that wound, I don't feel it. People can give me the world, but if I don't address it myself, it's it's pointless. And I wish it wasn't. I wish I could appreciate what they were giving to me. And I do, like, I'm grateful of that, but inside in my feelings, I still feel like it's not enough. And this has nothing to do with the people, it has everything to do with me. So right now in my life, again, I don't have friends, I don't have people that I hang out with. Right now in my life, I'm ready to spend my birthday alone, and I'm ready to cry about it. I'm ready to sit in my emotions. I'm ready to feel my emotions in that day and finally process and heal those emotions. And probably this doesn't take one birthday, it takes like maybe a several of me sitting with these emotions and me accepting my emotions and feeling my emotions and being there for myself while I feel them, for me to finally feel the love that people give to me on my birthday. Because I know at this point, I know how this works. At this point on the healing journey, yeah, I know. I know that I need to sit with them. I know I need to sit with these feelings of unworthiness and also these feelings of I don't deserve to be celebrated, because again I was never was celebrated in my household. I was only put down, right? So nothing that I did was ever good enough, so nothing was deserve of celebration, right? And that's the experience of narcissism. And this birthday I intend to spend it alone. I intend to cry about it in my birthday. I intend to feel the pain, but I know it's for the best. I know it is for me to heal that wound, face those emotions, and overcome them. And I'm kind of excited about it. I know this is strange for a lot of people, but I feel like when I let myself feel my triggers, when I let myself feel my emotional pain, it is also the moment that I feel the most loved because I'm giving myself that love. those moments where I'm in pain, when I'm feeling my emotions, when things are emotionally overwhelming, those are the same moments that I feel the most love towards myself. Those are the moments that I'm there for myself so deeply and so unconditionally. And in a lot of those moments where I'm in emotional pain, I learn to like them because it is the moments where I also feel the most loved. Of course, I have practice of self-love every day. I have a practice of checking in myself, reassuring myself, giving myself words of affirmation. But when I really feel it is when I am in emotional pain. When that love, I feel that love really deeply is when I'm going through it. So in a lot of ways, I'm kind of excited to spend this birthday alone, even though I'm going to spend it crying, even though I'm going to spend it in emotional pain, even though it's going to be quote unquote an hard day. But I know the love that I'm going to give myself through that experience is going to be so fulfilling. And if in the future people bring me love in my birthday, I'll finally feel it. I'll finally be truly grateful for it. I'll finally move on from it. I intend to like get myself a little cupcake, a little candle, maybe get like a postcard and write things that I want to celebrate about myself because again, that's what I didn't get. And I want to give myself what I wanted for people that was just a bit of like validation, love, acceptance. And I'm kind of excited about it. I'm kind of excited that I finally have the courage to spend my birthday alone, feel my emotions, be there for myself while I feel them. And yeah, I think that is going to heal a lot of my inner child. So I like to end this podcast with what I'm grateful for. I'm very grateful for the trust that I have in life, that I gain for experience. I'm grateful that even in the unknown, even in the unexpected, I can find a sense of safety within myself. And I can know in my body that everything is going to be okay. I'm grateful for all the methods that I implemented and discovered within me that allowed me to sit with my emotions and allow me to sit with emotional pain with such big amounts of love. I'm grateful that I'm going to spend my birthday alone. I know it's not going to be an happy quote unquote birthday, but I'm grateful that I have that time for myself to sit with my triggers and sit with my emotions. I'm grateful for all of you, all of my 48 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for also my community on Instagram. I'm grateful for everyone that is watching this. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a good day or night whenever you're listening. Bye.